new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.
Mullapur hasn't proved to be the happiest new home for Punjab Kings. They've lost 3 in a row over here. And on Sunday evening, they play their last game at this venue for this season when they host Gujarat Titans, the team who they beat on their last away game. What can we expect from this one? Let's build up to it on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout with Tom Moody, Mitch McClenaghan and Wasim Jaffer. It seems some time away now, but Gujarat Titans in Ahmedabad was Punjab's last victory. And that was the first time we saw that duo, Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma, announce themselves. What has happened since, Wasim, is that in 4 matches, they have been pretty much doing all the lifting for Punjab. And it's a peculiar case for uncapped batters at 6 and 7 to be essentially doing all the run scoring for a team.
Yeah, it's been a pleasant surprise, without a doubt. But that's something which hasn't, worked well for Punjab. They need their top order batters or the big boys to perform and get them over the line, which hasn't happened. They've lost far too many close games. That's been the case. They should have won at least 2 out of, or maybe 3 games out of that they had in their hand. But I feel they need to get their batting order right. Sam Curran opening the batting, whether that's a good thing. Atharva Taide, the guy who's sitting out, Liam Livingston at number 4. I wonder that's the right call. But even then, those guys need to come to the party.
How much do you put it down to just that shuffling of the batting order, which we see quite often from Punjab, and how much of a factor is also Shikhar Dhawan's absence in the last few games?
Look, I think Shikhar Dhawan's absence is significant because he's been such a constant in the IPL. He's a 500-plus season player and a very fine one at that. But I also feel that it's always the case with a team that's losing. You're always going to have a shuffling top order and also bowling attack because panic sets in and they're trying to unlock some magic instead of, I suppose, trusting what they thought was right at the beginning and giving that a longer opportunity. But hopefully this particular game, Shikhar Dhawan will be available. They did sort of give us a timeline about a week ago that it was going to be about 7 to 10 days. So hopefully for Punjab's sake that he is back because he's a very important component to that top order.
How do you see their batting order play out? Is there also a lack of ownership from some of the more experienced batters in there?
Yeah, lack of ownership. Maybe it's just a lack of form or confidence. And what I do hope that Punjab don't do, I do hope that they don't move Shashank and Ashutosh from their positions, because they're familiar in those roles. And if the team does get off to a poor start, they know what they're doing there. All it's going to take is 1 or 2 guys to get a score in their top order. Shikhar may be coming back, Jatesh finding some form, Riley Rousseau, he only faced 2 balls the other night. So it takes one of those guys to get half a score, and then Punjab are going to canter to a win, and this might be that game.
It's not a very dissimilar story for Gujarat Titans and their batting lineup. They, of course, succumbed to 89 all-out, the first time they were bowled out for less than 100 in the franchise's 2.5-year history. And if you look at their season tallies, Wasim, Gill has the runs, Sai Sudarshan has been consistent. But after that, you only have Rahul Tewatia who's crossed 100 runs. And across phases, they have struggled.
Yeah, it's kind of a similar story for GT as well. Their number 4 has struggled, Vijay Shankar. And I feel they haven't found anybody to bat at that number. They've tried Umar Zai, they've given Vijay Shankar a fair run. But I don't see anybody else batting at that number. I feel for David Miller, it's far too up for him to bat at that number. He's better off at 5 and 6 and finishing games along with Tewatia. So they've got to sort that out as well. And again, it's the same thing that when you lose, you try too many players and you change combinations to find the right one, and they haven't found one. And it puts a lot of pressure on Shubman Gill.
It's a really good point. They've got a really good bowling stock of local players. And as good as I think Spencer Johnson is, and I think he's been improving it, they might need the surety of a Wade or the experience of Kane Williamson in that middle order. So you can play David Miller down in a more familiar role. So maybe they have to look at the makeup of their overseas players and actually bring someone in to shore up their middle order.
Would you consider that overseas switch?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think their need is more in the batting than the bowling. So to supply that need, you need to consider that overseas option.
8 versus 9 as things stand. Who are we backing?
I think Punjab are going to finish up with a win in their last home game.
I agree. Yep, Punjab.
I'll back Punjab as well.
All right, we have a consensus on Punjab. If they are to win, they do go level with Gujarat Titans on points. Be sure to catch the build-up to the game just around toss time on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.